What is going on, folks? I think I'm live. Am I live? Let me know. Let me know if audio and video is working here. As you can see, it's just me right now. So I didn't even know how to play the intro, like normal intro thing, because Hack's not here. So you got that weird like 15-second, thing. So let me know. Everything good? Awesome. Well, welcome everyone. My partner in crime, Hack, is not here tonight. Just a quick somber note. His mother had a fall, and so he's been at the hospital today. We do know his mother is doing well for all intents and purposes after the fall. She did break some ribs, which is bad, and so they're doing a lot of tests on her, and she will likely be there tonight. So I don't think we'll see Hack tonight. So you just got me. I see everyone now logging off. But it's not just me. We have an awesome guest tonight. Jacob Kiper is here, and we'll bring him up here in a second. We're excited to have him from, him from Coming Whiskey. So that'll be awesome. We'll dig into some of the stuff he's doing. So anyway, welcome everyone, and yeah, send thoughts and send your prayers out to Hack and his family. So thinking of him tonight, and them. So, but I am happy to be here, and I appreciate y'all hanging in here and not logging off immediately when it's just me running the show. So that means I have to do all the like announcements and everything, which I typically just sit here and just kind of like drink, right? But I actually have to like work tonight, this is tough. Um, but let's get into the chat here. Who is first? Tim, cheers. Tim, first. There we go. Dennis, cheers, second here. Good to see you. Few keystrokes. Yeah, welcome in, everyone. I hope everyone had a good Valentine's Day weekend. I had some pours last night and a nice little date night. Hope everyone had some good times. Wes, cheers. What's going on? Yeah, Tim is number one in the chat and in our hearts. That's the truth. Randall, cheers. Time to ramp up the hype meter. Let's go. I know I didn't have our hype song. I couldn't find it in the thing. No, man, I'm just all out of sorts without Hack tonight. What's going on, Alan? Cheers, buddy. Matthew, welcome. Let's see here. I know a bunch of people were out in Austin repping the Still Austin shirt here for a drop, the Apple Brandy drop. Y'all have to let me know how that went. I saw some pictures. I know Hack was there too, so that's awesome. What else is going on? Let's see. I'm going to keep scrolling through here. Okay. If I miss you guys, I'm sorry. Nick Lusk, cheers. What's going on? Randall, I think I already said your name. Candace, cheers. What's up, Naomi? What's up? Good to see you. How's everyone? LL Kojo, I think I'm saying that right. Foot Doc, cheers, welcome. Nicholas Bowtie, welcome. Good to see everyone. Thanks for jumping on a Sunday night. Sunday fun day. Weekend's not over yet. Whiskey cheers. Cheers, JG. So I'm going to keep rolling through here. We have 2 giveaways tonight for our members. We have a giveaway of Hack just did a Knob Creek cast strength pick, which sounds awesome. I think it's over 10 years and it comes in 124 proof, which those things are just killer. So if you're a member, which member for us is on the YouTube, here we don't have a Patreon or anything like that. So if you're a member, you get automatically entered in that drawing. If I can even work the wheel, I have to do that too. I gotta work tonight, y'all. Cheers. Rye guy, what's going on? Yep, hope Mama Hack is okay. Yep. Give Hack and his family our best. Yep. Hit the like, Max. Show him love. Oh, thanks, Randall. Oh, I'm very well dressed to the Still Austin logo. See, now you guys can't make fun of some of my fashion choices. I'm rocking a Still Austin t-shirt. Okay. Here we go. We'll keep rolling through here. I want to make sure we don't leave Jake back there too long. I'm excited to get to him. Sorry, you have to earn your paycheck tonight. I know, right, Alan? all that big paycheck I get from this channel. This is why we do it. It's for the money. Andy Lux, what's going on? Cheers, cheers. Yep, prayers to Hack. Um, Mama Hack should have been wearing one of your puffy quilt jackets. She would have been perfectly fine. Oh, was it cold? Was it cold in Austin? It doesn't get cold down there, does it? Y'all don't even know. Oh yeah. Okay, so Jerry, you got the Navidad. I'm sorry that took so long to get to you. I'm blaming it on the weather up here in DC. Um, it was also it just took me a second to get in the mail. So I'm sorry, but I'm glad I got there unscathed. What's up, connoisseur? Good to see you. Sweet Cindy, awesome. Great to have you. And I think I have the announcements. I think we've gone through the chat. You guys, thanks for joining. If you just got here, Hack isn't here tonight. He is at the hospital with his mother who fell, but is doing all right considering. And so just keep him in your thoughts and prayers tonight. So let's talk. Okay, let me just get back to like what's going on tonight. Because typically like Hack does all this, so I'm like back doing this. I've got a list of things. I'm prepared tonight. All right, I'm prepared. Here we go. I talked about the member wheel, and then I talked. Oh, we also will have super chatters. That's the one thing. We also have a Weller 107 antique for the super chats tonight. So that's a solid bottle. And I know some people can't get it, or some people get it, or it's hard to find in certain places. I'm seeing it a bit more now. So that'll be a good one. So super chatters tonight. If you enter, you have an opportunity to win the Weller Antique 107, which Weller Special Reserve beat in a blind for me the other day, which I'm not proud of. But you know what? That just goes to show maybe it's better. Maybe Special Reserve is better than people say, and they're not that far apart. I'm probably gonna get canceled for that. All right. This video a little sketchy at times for anyone else. What's the video doing here? And if it's if the video is messing up, I don't even know what to do. But I hope you're all right. Okay. So Weller 107, we got the member giveaway, we got the cast strength pick. Yeah, so we're good. What's everyone sipping on? I'm sipping on a Michter's barrel strength bourbon, and I got the toasted here. That's what I'm sipping on. And you know what? I think we just gotta jump in here because I see Jake there. We're gonna bring you up. I don't want to keep you too long. Freezes just a few seconds, but voice is good. My video is freezing. Let me know if it keeps happening. I got YouTube up over here. It seems to be all right. But we're gonna jump in here and introduce Jake. All right, so bring you up. Hey Jake, how are you doing tonight?
I'm all right. How are you?
Good. Thanks for coming on. We're actually just meeting for the first time here, so I appreciate you jumping in here to some random channel.
I am always look forward to doing these things. Very, very happy to be here.
Awesome. Is everyone okay, so everyone in the chat too, can you all hear Jake fine? I can hear you just fine, Jake. I think you're good on my end. Let me know if we have any issues. But yeah, Jake, I appreciate jumping on. Hack, I think wish he could be here. So you're just dealing with me tonight, unfortunately, Jake. It's just us.
That works.
So Jake, I'm really eager to talk to you about, first of all, Coming Whiskey. I think that's how I know you. Maybe that's how most people know you, and that you are the person that I like see the TTB label and I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm so excited, or I'm like, what the hell is this? So I want to talk about that. I also want to talk about some upcoming releases because that's your thing, but also I know you're also a writer. Which I was reading some of your stuff earlier. I got some cool questions in there too, and just to hear about you. But maybe we'll just jump in with tell me a little bit about you, Jake. How did you get into this whiskey thing?
Well, let's see. I guess I'm gonna say started maybe about 8 years ago. I guess the backstory is my father passed away in 1992 from cancer when I was 10 years old. Roughly 8 years ago, I've lost count. My mother told me, "Oh, by the way, I saved the last bottle of bourbon your dad opened before he died. Do you want it?"
Wow.
I mean, yeah, I want that. I was really a beer drinker at the time. I was heavy into the craft beer scene. Then my mother gave me this standard bottle of Maker's Mark, about 3/4 full. That was probably purchased at some point in 1992, and it just kind of hit me like my dad drank from this bottle before he passed 20 something years ago.
Wow.
And I felt connected to it.
Yeah.
And then it kind of hit me that I live in Kentucky, but I didn't know much about bourbon. But yet I suddenly felt this connection to my dad.
Yeah.
So I wanted to change that. I picked up a book by Clay Risen about American whiskey, and I liked it. And it kind of turned into a bit of an obsession.
Yeah.
And to date, I've read, I don't know, at least 515 books that are related to bourbon, American whiskey, American spirits in general.
Oh, man.
Kind of
That's
turned
crazy.
into very much like an academic thing.
Wow.
Got fixated on it. Got on Twitter years ago, kind of before it became the wasteland that it is today, and got this idea that I was going to live tweet the books, essentially take what I read in these books and put it into tweet form, and
Yeah.
it developed a pretty decent following at one point
Awesome.
in time. And then from there, it kind of got into doing bourbon book reviews, and then eventually Drinkhacker picked me up to write. But in there, I kind of got this idea when I realized the TTB website existed, and that there was nothing on Instagram with that. And I realized how excited I got.
Yeah.
Geeking out. The first one, I found the original Weller single barrel label and put it on one of those Facebook bourbon groups, and it went nuts. And I thought, okay, people might care about this.
Right,
So
right.
that's kind of where it went from there.
When was that?
So the Coming Whiskey Instagram page launched mid-February 2020, right before the world ended for a while.
Okay.
Yeah, so it had nothing to do with the coming COVID crisis. That's just what it was.
Yeah. Wow. So wow, that's and that's incredible. So do you like how do you deal with all the comments on on some of these labels? Like, I think you probably get a ton of excitement, then you also probably get a lot of people that are like, what the hell is this? Is that do you try to, I know you respond sometimes. How do you deal with that?
So for the first few years, I didn't respond to anything.
Oh, okay.
I just kind of sat back and let everyone else do their comments without giving my feedback. And now, though, I try to give feedback. There are a lot of goofy comments, and people saying big, bold things that are just not based in any common sense or reality. Sometimes I respond to those, and sometimes I don't. But people also assume that I have a lot of this inside information on these labels at that point, and I don't.
Okay. What does that look? So, are you so how do you? So this might be a dumb question, but for people, like, how do you get that info?
All right. So the TTB website, the Federal Tobacco Tax and Trade Bureau, it has a website that looks like it was built at some point in the late 90s. It does not look modern. It does not look updated, and it's very much not user friendly. So, but it's public domain.
Okay.
You have to go looking for it. There's no accidental Google search where you're going to end up there. You are looking for it, but once you get there, it's not user friendly. If somebody doesn't explain to you how to navigate it, good luck. It's not user friendly. I could give you the link, and you wouldn't know what to do with it, more than likely.
So I have tried to do that, and I think I may have found something once, but you're right, it is not user friendly at all.
Yeah.
So thank you for your service, first of all.
So all those labels. So, and for those who may not realize how it works, for every single beverage alcohol label that is sold in the United States, even imports, if it's going to be sold in the United States, the label must be submitted to the federal TTB. That's beer, wine, Boone's Farm, liquor, whatever. The government, they're checking to make sure things are on the label that have to be there, and they're making sure things that can't be there aren't there. And once the TTB approves it, it gets posted to a public domain website somewhere around 4 a.m.
Interesting. Okay.
And it's all there for the taking. Anyone can go get it, but I mean, there's no press release or anything like that. Now, occasionally, I will chat with people who like work for the brand, and they'll tell me things. But outside
Right.
of that, I often don't have any information other than what everyone else sees.
Got it. This is a good example of a label that I'd like to ask you about. Um, and how much does and I assume the TTB they are the ones that they're not just slapping labels up based on an application of a producer, right? They have authority based on naming. And so can you talk a little bit about that, or am I wrong,
All right. So I mean, the brands themselves submit the paperwork,
yeah.
and they have to submit the art, and in many cases they have to submit a formula, and
Yeah.
TTB looks at that and approves that. Now, this is not AI generated. It's just a couple of people who are sitting there doing this,
Okay.
and there's a lot of inconsistency. I've talked to brands that submitted a label, and for some goofy reason it was denied. They waited 2 weeks, resubmitted it exactly as it was, and it got approved because a different person was looking at it.
Oh, wow.
And they do make mistakes. It's just people. I certainly see labels get approved all the time. They're not compliant. The most recent one offhand, I posted a peg leg porker America's 250th anniversary bottled and bond, and on the back label it had the DSP number for the bottler, Peg Leg Porker, which is a barbecue restaurant in Nashville, Tennessee, but it did not include the DSP for the actual distillery. So that was a non-compliant bottled and bond label, but it got approved. So
wow.
I mean they missed that.
Interesting. So the reason I brought up Booker's is because they're releasing that rye or the reserves, and I think everyone got really excited when they saw the green label. Is the Booker's rye. It is not. It is not. It is an infused cinnamon thing.
Yeah. So with that, I think people also need to differentiate. There is a difference in Booker's and Booker's the reserves. They are very much. They are similar, but they are a distinct product. The reserves, they're going to do some more interesting things with the tequila finish. Clearly, this one, which is the apple brandy cask and the cinnamon. This is one where I definitely saw a lot of kind of goofy comments. And of course, like I get people, being less than enthused about it. But my favorite, there was like some guy who commented, Booker No would never allow his name to go on this, yada yada yada. And it's like,
right?
Are you so sure about that? So much that Freddie No, I had a nice little conversation with Freddie No, and he's like, people say it's not my grandpa. Like, I know my grandpa. Like, I know what was in his house. And so much he sends me this picture of this wassail that Booker made. In fact, the bottle had his grandmother's name on it. He's like, you can post it. Just can you take the name off of it? So I used a photo editor I've got, and I took his grandmother's name off the label. But he's like, we had a bunch of these. So saying Booker No wouldn't make these, like, he did, because Freddie had pictures of them from decades ago. Like,
wow.
It is Booker No.
That is really cool. I think a lot of people are rightly so concerned or upset, but it's a good point where it's like there's this whole history there. We should not assume it's just them trying to,
But I think again, I get people getting a little bummed out, but it is important to realize they are making a clear distinction between Booker's and Booker's the reserves.
Okay.
They are. There's a different idea. The reserves is meant to be something noteworthy, different from just a standard Booker's release, and so far, that's exactly what it's been.
Yeah, that's true. The tequila finish, I finally tried. Thank you, Candace, in the chat for that. And because I was like, the tequila, what is this? It was actually well done for as far as tequila. I thought, what are you drinking, by the way? I didn't even ask you, Jake.
So I've got 2 bottles poured and pulled tonight. So the first one I've got here is Onyx and Amber.
Nice.
This is a NDP based out of Denver. So initially they went to market with a bunch of awesome single barrels.
Yeah.
This one is the first release in a guest blender series. It's still MGP, 8 to almost 13 years, but it's blended by Ryan Negley. For those who may not know the name, until very recently, Ryan was with Boulder Spirits, and he was, I think, a lot of the magic behind what happened at Boulder Spirits, and he moved on, and now he is kind of doing consulting work like this. I think it's a fantastic blend of MGP.
Nice.
And then the other one I've got poured is Bluegrass Distillers Elkwood Reserve. It is a 9-year Kentucky bourbon at cask strength. Now, they don't tell you where it's from, but there's enough clues to say this is Green River. It is a 9-year, 1 month, 16-day bottle of Green River, 134 proof, and this barrel yielded less than 10 gallons. And I mean, it's fantastic.
Green River's got some awesome stuff. I do have to make this little inside joke about for Hack about Onyx and Amber. Whenever we talk about Onyx and Amber, we say coming to the stage, Onyx and Amber. Anyway, I just had to do that little thing, Jake, just because it's a funny name. Good whiskey though. I have a single barrel. I like it. Yeah. So well, that's awesome. I like both of those. I have a Bluegrass. I think it's a 14 or maybe a 16. Actually, I think that was one of the buff turkeys, and it was So I want to talk a little about some of the upcoming releases. What are some that you're like? What are you looking forward to this year? Because I know, yes, you put them up, but you got to be a fanboy too. You like whiskey. So what are you looking forward to?
So I did a podcast a couple of nights ago, and I had my answers out, and then I posted something that came between them. I live in Owensboro. For those who may not know, I am. Fight me, I'm the biggest Green River fan in the country. I was a fan of the place when they were OZ Tyler, and for those who don't know, that's a bad word. They are getting ready to release at some point this year 375s of an 8-year Green River toasted barrel, 6-month finish. That may not be like the greatest release of the year, but for me personally, that's my number one. Like I'm more excited about that than anything else, just because it will be the oldest bourbon Green River has bottled under their own branding.
Nice.
And it's toasted.
That's awesome.
You know, like everyone else, I'm interested in the remake of the Wild Turkey 16-year Cheesy Gold Foil.
Yep.
I don't know. There's so many out there. Wanting to track down.
Yeah. And in the chat, please, jump on here, ask some questions too. And I'm going to start. I've got some upcoming releases I wanted to highlight too, but let's look here. So what's some current craft whiskey you're enjoying right now?
Oh gosh. Well, what are we defining as craft? I mean, talking about, what size? The best true craft. All right. The other night I poured a last year's limited single malt from Boulder Craft Spirits in Colorado, and I thought it was ridiculously good. I recently had Dietrich Bell of Dayton in Ohio.
Oh yeah.
They sent, or not, a friend sent me a bottle of 9-year rye whiskey that's not sourced. I think most people would be stunned to realize that there are places in Ohio that have 9-year-old whiskey. And it was old Dietrich. Yeah, old Dietrich from Bell of Dayton. It's ridiculously good.
That's awesome.
There's so many to pick from.
Yeah. You're not the first I've heard talk about it. I haven't had any, but I've heard good things about them. So I'm looking, the King Kentucky small batch. I think that was just released, or it has at least gone out in like media samples. We're not that popular, Jake. We don't get the media samples, but have you heard anything? Any King Kentucky small batch talk, or have you had it?
I have not had it. Of all the things that Duke has sent my way, I'm not that special. King of Kentucky will not be sent to me. I do think it's cool they're releasing three batches of it.
Yeah.
So I thought that was cool. I have not yet read any reviews, but I'm sure they'll be out awfully soon. But in all honesty, it's one of those kind of things that, yeah, it's cool, but it's still out of my budget kind of thing. So I don't know. To me, it's really hard to get super excited about some of these things that my wife would divorce me if I tried to buy some of those things. So
Like maybe the one Victor Celebration was released.
sure.
Or was actually, I don't think it's released yet, but it I think what suggested, let's see, MSRP $6,000 for that.
Yeah.
That would be great to have, wouldn't it?
Oh, I mean, absolutely. I mean, I'm certainly interested in those super high dollar bottles like everyone else, but I don't know. It's, you know, I read reviews of people who write about those super high dollar bottles, and how many people are actually going to try those things?
Yeah, I know, right? It's just ridiculous. Yeah,
and it's, I don't know. And when I write, I don't know. I guess I'm much more interested in focusing on the bottles that an average person can actually get a shot at getting and afford, and, you know, not put themselves into financial straits over those.
I just poured a Green River. All it says is Green River bourbon pick, and it was from. It's not, you know, your name is not on here, but if you know your samples here, this is a Green River pick, 126.8 proof. I don't know the age or anything in the chat. If you send me this, let me know. But man, it's incredible. Some of that they've got some great stuff, and the weeded was just announced, right? The weeded full proof.
Yes.
Okay. Mm-hmm. I've seen that go out. Have you had that? What are your thoughts?
Yeah. So I think I did a review for Instagram some point last week. It's fantastic. So kind of telling people, you know, I live in Owensboro. I have access. I mean, I live 15 minutes away from the distillery. I got a single barrel of the very first weed that they released. I got another distillery exclusive single barrel, and then I helped pick the first on premise. So I mean, I had been kind of hoarding my 3 single barrels because, you know, you can't just go get those super easily. Now that this full proof is available, I may actually drink the single barrels because I know I can replace high proof weeded. But what's fun about it is this is what is it, 112, 113.6 proof, something like that. So these are all barrel, and it's cask strength. So these are all weeded barrels that fell in proof, and I think there's something really fun about cask strength that drops in proof.
Yep. Are you a hazmat guy?
In some cases, I've had hazmat that I really like, and I've had it that I haven't. You know, one of the aspects is I don't necessarily. If I want to have 2 ounces of whiskey at night, I'm not looking for hazmat.
I know.
And some nights, you know, I want to enjoy more than 1 ounce. But yeah, if it's a quality hazmat, I love it as much as anybody else.
Yeah, no, that's great. I do have from Dave Vogelsong, Green River weeded single barrel is a Benny's pick, 123 proof too, and this thing is killer. I did see, you know, I also like the cask strength low proof stuff too, Jake. Like that like older MGP, like the Remus stuff. I really love that. But I find with like weeders, I'm liking the higher proof from Green River. So I was a little, I don't know, I haven't had it yet, but I think isn't one of the, or like there's a couple different batches. I thought there was 109 proof on one of the full proofs, or am I thinking of a different?
All right, so the full proof not weeded, yes, there are multiple batches. I honestly have not kept up how many batches there are, but there are multiple batches. And yeah, those, and what I'm not entirely sure. So when the original Green River full proof came out, they made no mention of it if it was cask strength, and honestly, I assumed it wasn't. Because I know, like, most of the Green River I've seen that's been cask strength, you know, we're looking at that 119 to 124 range, and then it came out at, you know, whatever batch using it came out low, and I assumed they had proofed it down just for whatever reason, and maybe they did. But when the foolproof weeded came out, the press release specifically said it was cask strength. So
interesting. Okay. Yeah.
So I'm not sure what the original one was, but the weeded is definitely cask strength.
That's awesome. I've had a lot of Green River this past week too. Mash and Drum, Jason C.
Mhm.
Mash and Drum, his debut I just got that and did a review of that, and that's got some solid Green River in that too. Have you had that one yet?
I have not.
Okay. Yeah.
Um, but I mean, Green River, it's great the 5 to 6 years that people seem to know. When you start getting that extra age in there, I mean,
Yeah.
and the crazy thing about this is what, $80?
Is it work? Well, yeah, but you've got to we can't get that, can we, Jake?
Well, I think this one is a distillery exclusive, I think.
Uh-huh.
But I mean, if you could track one of these down online somewhere, I
Yep.
mean, $80. I mean, this is
That's
one of the oldest Green Rivers on the market, and I mean, dear God, it's fantastic.
I would love that. Since you mentioned that, and maybe I'll keep peppering in some releases that I have listed, but I want to hear about direct to consumer work that you're doing.
All
Talk to
right.
me a little bit about what you're doing there.
All right. So the direct to consumer is actually why I started putting a face with my Instagram account. For the first, 2.5 years, I was completely anonymous. Only a handful of my friends, local friends, had any idea who ran that account. But then a guy named Ari Sussman approached me. Some people may know the name Ari. He's the blender for Three Chord. He's the blender for Whiskey Gypsy. Dude's got his hand in everything, and he's a huge part of the industry, even if you don't know his name yet.
Yeah.
He started this group called Mash Networks, and it's direct to consumer. They operate out of a retail retail store in Washington D.C., like so many others are right now. And the idea was initially that we were going to try to get pre-orders on all these things. That was the original hope. Was that I post things well before they go to market, and we were going to get pre-orders set up. Didn't work out, but I can work with distilleries that I want to work with, and anything that is in the Mash Networks portfolio, I can put my little store. And anyone who if they buy a bottle through my store, I get a little commission on, but I get to highlight things that I think are good and others may not necessarily think of or have access to.
Nice. So shop.cummingwhiskey.com, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm dropping that here in the chat. Well, that's really cool. Where do you? So, we didn't even talk about. You talked about approaching whiskey from an academic perspective. I need to start. How do I start doing that? I need to start doing that so I can have an excuse for all these bottles. Tell me your background though. What's your educational background, Jake?
All right. So, I mean, I've got a master's degree in clinical counseling. So,
Okay.
my day job since 2007, I'm a licensed mental health counselor.
Oh, wow. That's
Um,
awesome.
so I've been working for nonprofits, mental health counseling since 19 years now. But before that, very much an academic mind,
Yeah.
and kind of a fun caveat that I've learned more about myself in the last couple of years. I've always been very aware that the books, it's not normal. I mean, to get that fixated and focused, but never knew what to make of it. And then about 2 years ago, I came to the realization that I'm living with ADHD. Got it formally diagnosed, and one of the aspects of ADHD is it often comes with hyperfixation. Oh, that all makes sense now.
Yeah.
Latched onto a topic and wanted to know everything on earth that I could know about it. The more I understand about what I drink, makes me appreciate it that much more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
So
awesome.
it's just I like knowing, and then kind of the big aspect. It started out, as a way to connect with my dad. So I wanted to learn about bourbon and Kentucky, and then you read a few books and you realize, it impacts more than just Kentucky, and then you realize it's the United States, and then the realization hits that whiskey history isn't whiskey history; it's just history.
Yeah.
And you learn just how intertwined beverage alcohol history is with American and world history, and we don't learn that in schools, and I get why we don't, but it's important. One of the stories I like to tell, when we're making little paper turkeys and pilgrim hats celebrating Thanksgiving in second grade. We talk about the Mayflower, where the Pilgrims got off. What we don't learn is that they didn't get off in Plymouth by design. They got off in Plymouth because they ran out of beer. That was early.
Wait,
Now,
what?
now at first that sounds kind of crazy, but let's think about it. You're crossing the Atlantic Ocean. At that point in history, like, barrels were our shipping containers. So they would put water into these barrels. Well, fresh water goes stagnant over months. It's not safe to drink. But alcohol is a disinfectant. So you put beer in barrels, and the alcohol stands up to contamination. So they drink beer. So when they ran out of beer, it's not that they had to get off the boat because they ran out of booze to get hammered with. It's beer was their safe, potable drink. So they ran out of beer. They had to get off and get stuff to drink, which is why they got off when they did. Now, I think that's a pretty cool aspect of American history. We don't learn that. Another angle, like Johnny Appleseed. John Chapman, real man, really did plant apples from Pennsylvania over to Illinois. But what Disney didn't tell us is that not a single variety of those apples was ever meant for eating. They were the kind of apples that if you took a bite out of them, you'd make some really funny faces. Every one of those apples was meant for making hard cider and brandy. People love Johnny Appleseed because he gave them apple-based booze. We don't learn that in school. Disney does not teach us that, but so when I kind of got into that line of history, it just really fascinated me, and I wanted to know everything I could.
That's awesome. So, Jake, we did get a couple comments here earlier about your voice, that it's like made for like this, like boxing announcing or like commercials. Okay, so have you heard that before?
Yes.
Okay.
It's more times than you can ever imagine.
Okay. I'm very jealous. But then also, you have a podcast that can you talk, or like where? Yeah. Or
So
I
I don't have my own pod. I do.
Oh,
I
you
do.
were on.
So yeah, every now and then, like this, people will ask me to do things. I definitely don't have my own. I will say, about 2 years ago, one of the founders of Still Austin approached me about us doing a podcast, and the whole angle was going to be bourbon history.
Nice.
And at first, I bit on it. I'm like, hell yeah, let's do this.
Yeah.
And then it kind of hit me that I am a very busy individual, and in order to, and as you know, to do it right, it's a lot of time.
Yeah.
And I kind of had to step back and realize, like, I honestly don't have the time to do it right, and I'm not going to half-ass it. If I can't do it right, I'm not going to do it at all. But this was a real this was a real thing. I mean, one of the Still Austin founders approached, and we had several calls about it, and I did back out just because I don't have the time to do it right. Maybe someday, and if I did it, history would be it. I would want to talk history.
Yeah.
But for now, I'm out of it.
I mean, I think that's what I was thinking. I mean, yeah, I was thinking that would be so cool for you to do a podcast on whiskey and history, and that'd be awesome. But maybe, you know what, Jake, maybe if you would like to come back, if this works out, we'd love to have you again, talk a little bit about some like history. That would be awesome.
I mean, I like doing these guest appearances as often as I can. But yeah, I mean, you know what goes into producing stuff like this and planning, and I just had to be honest and realize that I didn't have that time in my life.
Right.
This whiskey thing is still very much a side piece of my life. As much as my face may be out there, it's still a very small aspect of my life, and between family and my real job and other obligations.
Right. So JG wants you to write him a prescription for whiskey. It sounds better if it's medicinal. Can you do that, Jake?
So as I tell my clients, I am not a doctor. I am a licensed therapist. I cannot write you anything. I can't write a prescription for anything. I wish I could, though.
Okay. I didn't. Sorry, JG. And it's also not the, it's not back in the days of when we needed that, but good try. This is great. Hyperfixation made me make 20 bagels 20 times in 6 months. I get it. Cheers.
Oh, it's real.
I mean, don't you think though, from, ADHD and then maybe other pieces of like, just maybe even just people too also on the spectrum as well. I see that a lot in and like people who have whiskey. Like I see that in this community. I think it's super cool. Like I'm not trying, and this is not my. I don't want to like get too into that because I'm not an expert in that. It sounds like you are. Is that something you see in this? And that I don't know.
So honestly, a couple months ago, it kind of hit me that I might be in that area as well.
Yeah, yeah.
It is actually common enough. They refer to it as AUDHD, like a
AUD.
common.
Okay.
I have not been formally diagnosed, but I'm definitely not enough that I've had conversations with family about the possibility.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
as I'm trying to understand myself, I mean, I look around at a lot of us,
yeah.
and lovingly, like we're not normal. I mean, I mean, loving like a lot. I should say those of us who tend to live on the internet in this whiskey community,
Yeah, yeah,
like I think the hyperfixation might apply to a lot of people that
yeah.
we're surrounded with because we're drawn to this internet community, whether it's the Facebook groups or I mean, we have people come to our house and I kind of have to prep them. I'm like, you're going to see a lot of bottles,
I know.
just, prep them. And, and like most people, they have 3 bottles. That's, they're doing well. Then,
I know. Yeah.
so,
Well, yeah,
whether it's, you know, people who might be on the spectrum or ADHD hyperfixation or a combination of both. I mean, I've had this conversation privately with friends.
yeah,
I wouldn't be a bit surprised if a lot of people fall into that category, and they themselves aren't aware of it.
yeah. Well, that was not on my list of questions to ask, but it just popped up, and I think that that's something that is. I think it's a cool thing to talk about. It's a cool thing that I have a lot of friends who are on the spectrum there. I don't even know how to talk about it, so I hesitate to even bring that up. But I think like it is something that is I think should be like talked about more and also like not a bad thing. It should be
Sure.
also maybe, just talked about more and it's like
Well,
a part of our community and just any community too,
yeah.
right? So, yeah.
And it's one of those that, again, I mean, it is sincerely, it is something that, I've had conversations with my family about, like, is that where I'm sitting as well?
I know.
And you can't tell just by looking at somebody, what's going on.
Right.
And it's, I mean, again, it's not a negative thing. I, kind of going back to the 500 books.
Yeah.
I mean, people kind of look at it as a superpower. I mean, I enjoy the fact that I've hyperfixated on a certain topic, and
Right.
by most standards, I've gone overboard. And
Yeah.
maybe that's the real explanation for how I went overboard or why I went overboard.
I would call it like it sounds like a superpower to me.
We'll go
But
with that.
okay, one thing I did have written down here too, which is we are big fans of Pursuit here.
Mhm.
You were a brand ambassador, like a contracted brand
Mhm.
ambassador with them. Can you tell me a little about like Pursuit and your history there?
Yeah, so I worked for them for a little over 2 years, I guess. And honestly, kind of all started. I had really cheap health insurance from my employer for years, and then 3 or 4 years ago, coming out of COVID, our health insurance rates jumped 60% in 1 year.
Mm,
So I had to make up some money and looking for ways. And then I heard, listening to Bourbon Pursuit, like everyone else, they put out some pleas for some brand ambassadors, and I thought, oh, I could do that. So reached out and they jumped on it. So, and kind of what the extent was is a couple times a month I went to local area liquor stores and I did tastings.
awesome.
Tasted people, talk to people, get them hyped about the brand, hopefully sell some bottles. And
Yeah.
then I did whiskey festivals, local events, trying to represent them. Um, and I got paid for that. But kind of the big joke was a couple nights a month for 3 hours at a time, I got to go out and someone other than my wife got to listen to me talk about whiskey.
There we
So,
go.
I got paid for someone else other than my wife to listen to me talk whiskey. And I mean, that's a win for me. It's a win for my wife,
That's
win for Pursuit. And
that
it was great. But then my schedule got too busy and realized something had to go. So that's what I picked to walk away from.
yeah. Oh. That's awesome. We have we had Kenny on, was it last week, and then we had a couple of Texas ambassadors here too. So it's really cool. And then not this weekend, but next weekend, I will be there and be able to finally visit them to do the whole shebang. So I'm excited about that.
It is. I never actually got to the warehouse, but back in the fall, I got to the Whiskey Row venue, and it's a whole lot nicer than I expected. I don't know what it was I was expecting when I walked in, but I mean, it's awesome. Their downtown Louisville visitor experience is fantastic.
That's awesome. All right, some in the chat, please, drop some questions in here too. Here's some that I'm looking forward to, Jake. I'm gonna get your thoughts. So we have the new Star Hill Farm release, which is it and I don't have it right up here. I think it's a different mash bill. Am I wrong in that? If you don't know that, it's okay. They may have just named it differently.
I don't recall what last year's mash bill was.
Okay. I'm sure someone's going to check me in the chat. That's one I'm looking at. I know the Russell's Reserve 13. This is Eddie's 45th anniversary. Is that right?
Yep.
Too? That's one. I'm a big turkey guy. So I'm looking forward to that. But there's one that no one's really talking about, which I don't know much about, is the Peerless Henry Craver Old Reserve 10-year rye. They have 10-year stuff now. Do you know anything about this, Jay?
So, all right. So October of 2024, I went with some friends to visit Peerless, and we spent kind of a one-on-one with one of the distillers. That was after Caleb left, and they kind of do distiller by committee now. And we were talking with her about that, and Ellie. And they're really excited about that.
Yep.
But see what's interesting is, she was very honest, and she was saying, like, with this Henry Craver, they're going to pull some really good barrels. She also was very honest that in those early days of Peerless, there were a lot of barrels that were really rough.
Oh, really?
Because they were still figuring it out.
Okay.
And she was very honest about that. So there are a lot of their older barrels they sold off because they didn't quite meet what Peerless wanted them to meet, and we inadvertently stumbled into one of the brands they went to. One of my friends stuck his foot in his mouth, didn't know what he was doing, and she's like, "Funny you should say that." Yeah, I mean, I know they're really excited about it, and I feel like when they do drop the Henry Craver labels, that's going to be a bombshell, because I know they sifted through a lot of barrels to find the right ones.
Interesting. Okay. I know that the single barrel distillery releases are just, I mean, those label, like, first of all, the marketing, the labeling, all that's awesome, but then also the stuff inside is awesome, is incredible. I'm a big Peerless guy.
I mean, the naming is perfect. For those who haven't had a distillery gift shop pick, the ones that get distributed as like regular store picks are great, but like the ones that they hoard for the gift shops, those are absolutely next level. And the naming convention is somehow always perfect.
And the notes for the most part are right, and the naming is like, you're right. It's killer. I'm sipping on the new 1924 release this year, which I think just like came out maybe a couple weeks, maybe like a month ago. So is this the second batch, Jake? I think. Okay.
If that was a few weeks ago, yes, that is the second batch.
Yeah. It's really great. I tried it against the first, and it's on par, if not better. I assume this is going to be an annual release, or
I mean, I guess I'm curious. Unless they change it up, I'm really curious, like, how much of it they have, because my understanding was that was leftover from the early times stuff. Was my understanding.
Oh yeah. That's a good point.
So that was my understanding, is that that was early. Of course, they sold off the early times brand. So I don't know if they're gonna switch the mash bill, but so that was one of the labels that caused a major shitstorm when I posted it. It's one of those, like, I remember where I was when I posted that.
Really?
I was camping with friends, like
Okay.
my family and friends. We were camping in southern Indiana, and I post that label, and people read it, and then it doesn't say distilled by Old Forester, and they're like, well, what the hell does that mean? And then, as I recall, the back of the label indicates something like it may not always be a set mash bill.
Interesting.
At least the initial label, like, it
Okay.
talks about, like, they sourced different distilleries, which was, at that point in history, was accurate. So, like, the first one was definitely like it was early times. So it was Brown Foreman,
Yeah.
but it was early times.
Interesting.
But
Okay.
so, as I recall, I don't own a bottle, but I mean, I've had it, but I don't own a bottle. But the language left it open to, it may not always be the same source.
Yeah.
So, like, they
Interesting.
could make it Old Forester. They could make it Woodford Reserve if they wanted.
Oh no.
So yeah, because that was the question. If this is early times, like, they don't distill that anymore. Like, that's going to run out, which I think is why the label indicated it could be multiple sources.
Yeah. That's a really good point. I mean, we haven't, and then also early times, but I've not had the new thing, but every whiskey tuber is talking about the demise of it. Have you seen that?
I have not had it since they
Okay.
sold it.
Okay. I mean, I've got a blue top that's fine, but I think this brand new release is, I've seen a couple, like, I think Jason and Mash and Drum was like, fell off. I think SLB. Anyway, it's interesting. We got some questions here, and sorry, Jake, let me know. I think, are you good for a couple more minutes? I don't want to
Yeah,
take too much of your
yeah,
time.
I'm good.
Jake, are there any distilleries you plan to visit this year? Like, and then what is your unicorn bottle from Frank too?
Okay,
Right?
let's see. So it's early in the year.
Yep.
What have I already visited? So earlier this or last month, last month, I've already hit Woodford and Castle and Key this year. Castle and Key was surprisingly, I was there during the snow here.
Mm,
Woodford and Castle and Key in the snow, like, I booked it in advance. I like photography, by the way, so I couldn't ask for better. And I will say, early on, Castle and Key's whiskey didn't do it for me. I did try some older stuff when I was there. I'm much more interested now. I think a little more age, they're cooking.
nice.
Um, I haven't planned out any other distillery visits yet. I know I'll make them. In 2 weeks, I am traveling to Indianapolis to help do a single barrel selection with Circle City, which, they're not distilling, but they're blending, and Drew
Yeah.
is great. I guess I'd call Drew a friend at this point. It's been my third time there. Looking forward to that. At some point, probably late April, I'm supposedly going with some friends to Stitzel-Weller to hang out with Nicole Austin,
Mm,
tour that place, and supposedly taste some of the good stuff. So I'm
awesome.
looking forward to that. But there will be others. Just nothing's been planned yet.
Yeah. Do,
Um, yeah.
do you do? I assume you're involved in barrel picks. Do you do picks? I know, like, do they go on your DTC site? Like, how does that work?
So there have been some on there,
Okay.
but so the pick that I'm doing at Circle City, it's actually not my pick. There's a local guy here in
Okay.
my town, and he's putting up the money for it.
Yeah.
And he was kind of like, well, like, who can you help me get picks from? Like, he threw out Circle City, said, I got you. I talk
Yeah.
to Drew all the time, so it's actually his pick, but I'm going up to help with it. When I've helped the last two Kentucky Bourbon Festival, their selections of Green River.
Yeah.
So it's just, people are in the area. They're like, "Hey, you want to? I'm gonna be in the area. Do you want to come?" And if it works out and I can go, I'll go join them.
Nice.
So it's fun and networking.
Yeah. Does Jake ever come see us over in Evansville for the amazing hunting opportunity?
So my wife is a native West Sider of Evansville. So I'm told that it was miraculous that I got her to leave the west side of Evansville to come to Owensboro. My in-laws still live there, so I'm in Evansville pretty often. Um, if I do go hunt, it's typically looking at a liquor locker or maybe Frontier Liquor. Um, but yeah, I'm in Evansville pretty frequently.
Is it better hunting over there?
Um,
I hear, or I've
so all
heard.
right, Until about a year and a half ago, yes. But then
Okay.
Owensboro got this store about a year and a half ago called Barrelheads, and Barrelheads is legit. And the
Okay.
owner is aggressive with his marketing. So a couple times a year, including the Saturday before Christmas, he does a sale. Everything in the store
Oh man.
is his cost plus a penny.
Oh
And
wow.
I would say, and it's a thank you to the customers. And I'm gonna guess it's probably one of the three best stores in Kentucky. It's
That's awesome.
ridiculously awesome. But yes, I have certainly purchased numerous bottles in Evansville. Um, until Barrelheads came in, my town, Owensboro, was really short on craft stuff
Okay.
from outside of Kentucky. And Evansville, which is about 45 minutes from me, was a good opportunity to buy craft stuff that isn't from Kentucky. I can get
Right.
it at one store now, but yes, Evansville is great for that.
That's great. Have you had? I'm wearing this Reveries hat. Have you had Reveries stuff yet?
I've had one offering, and I forget, it might have been a 9 year. It was one of the
Oh, okay.
original ones Jay put out.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I know Jay knows what he's doing.
Yeah. It's killer stuff. Have you had any of the Raven batches yet?
I have not.
Oh man. Okay. We're gonna have to get you some of those, Jake. Tim, Circle C is amazing. Even being biased living in Indy, yeah. Sir, and actually Tim sent me my only Circle City I have, which is killer. I'm a fan.
So my favorite Circle City, what was it? At some point in 2024, he did that 12-year MGP 95.5, and
Yep.
it was Fred Minnick's #3 Rye of the year.
Oh
But
wow.
the difference was Drew's was 130. The two that beat it were far more expensive. So I mean,
Oh yeah. Okay.
like yeah, one of those was like Redemption 18 year, and
Oh yeah, that's insane.
yeah.
Yeah, that's like a
So
$450.
right, Drew coming at $130 for #3. That's legit right there.
So yeah, this is it is 50% 11.5 year MGP, 50% 9 year MGP. Yeah, from them, and yeah, this is
So
nice.
Drew approached me about a year ago, and I'm gonna make it happen about
Thank you, Tim.
not necessarily doing a single barrel with him, but trying to do a blend with him, and that's something I'm gonna do.
Oh,
I want to make that happen this year. So not necessarily doing a single barrel, but he said if I could pick two distilleries to blend, tell him he can probably track it down, and then we'll play with it from there and see what blend I come up with. And honestly, like single barrels are fun. I'm oddly much more interested in doing my own blend than a single barrel. So I'm kind of excited about that.
that's so cool, man. And they've got great. I mean, I hear they've got great barrels, and this is great.
He does. Yeah. Drew, and for those who don't know Drew, like he's extra picky about what he takes, and he is personally offended by high prices. So,
Yeah.
he's like he wants to be quality whiskey for the everyman on
Yep.
the every budget, and I thoroughly appreciate that.
Yep. That's awesome. All right, so maybe just a couple more questions here, and then Jake, thanks so much for coming on. Some random person that Instagrammed you. I really appreciate it. This has been
Always
really
happy.
cool for me. We'd love to have you back on
Sure.
too. I really love your reviews. Tell me about like writing. You're a really great writer. How do you do your reviews? I know there's a lot of people that do it different ways. I would love to hear from you, like how you do it.
All right. So, all right, kind of how I got there though. It's like I started on Twitter tweeting about books, and Malt Review approached me about doing book reviews. I took it. Malt Review doesn't pay either. Like everything I did was all just to do it. And then Malt Review shut down. And when they shut down, the editor of Drinkhacker was like, "Hey, we notice you're not claimed right now. Come write for us, and we'll pay you. It's not much. Like depending on how long my reviews are, it's $8 or $16 a review. Like it's not much, but like it's more than I was getting.
Damn.
But everyone in this industry kind of has their angle when it comes to whether it's YouTube or writing, what makes them stand out. I decided my two things: details, details, details. I want to give the reviews that give more details about that whiskey than anyone else.
Yeah.
Maybe I care about them, so I assume you do too. Or maybe you don't know you care because you've not seen those details. Once you see those details, maybe you suddenly demand those details. And then I want to tell stories. I've read an ungodly number of books, and if I can tell historical stories that make the whiskey interesting, that's what I want to do. So some of my reviews go into a lot of history and a lot of
Yeah.
storytelling before I ever get to the actual whiskey.
Yeah.
So with that, considering I'm only getting $8 to $16 a review, like I put a lot of time into those. I put a lot
Yeah.
of research and a lot of time making sure the story is good. But in general, I find that even if the brands don't preemptively release a lot of their details, at least the small guys, if you ask directly, they're usually pretty open and they'll tell you.
Nice.
So when I get these bottles sent for review, I've got a big long list of questions, pretty standard, that I send the distilleries or the brands, and they're usually pretty happy to answer everything.
Oh, cool.
And I kind of approach it as, I ask questions. If any of these details are proprietary, I respect that, but give me what you got.
That's
And they
awesome.
usually tell me, and I put it in my reviews.
That's great. So I put in the link, drinkhacker.com
Hmm?
author Jacob Craig. That's the way to find you, Jake. Any other that's the best way?
I mean, through Drinkhacker, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, also, if you Google Jacob Kiper Drinkhacker, I mean, there is a link on Drinkhacker that you can click and shows just my portfolio, but I'm not the only one who writes for them. There are
Yeah, yeah.
numerous people, and they cover other spirits as well. But yeah, that's I've been with them since April 24. I love writing for them.
That's awesome, man. Yeah, you got to check it out. So last question,
Sure.
what was your favorite, or you could name a couple last year favorite release that you were able to taste? Um and as you're thinking of that, I also would love, because you are a historian of whiskey, um what is a trend do you think we will see coming out this year? I know there's two different
All right.
things, but like, yeah.
All
So
right. So I think perhaps for another reason, my favorite last year was the Starlight 10-year bourbon.
oh wow.
Now,
Okay.
now it wasn't. It wasn't the. It was great, but it wasn't the best whiskey I had last year. But I think why it was so meaningful to me was about 2 months before they released it. Andrew at Starlight, messaged me and said, "We want you to come to the distillery. We want you to taste through these barrels. We have a goal in mind." Turns
Yeah.
out they invited me and a couple other people on different days. They wanted us to taste through all 8 single barrels that went into that blend. With the goal, with the point was taste all 8 individually and then taste the blend. If the blend is $250, would any one of these single barrels by itself be worth $300? If we were to pick one of them as a single barrel, would you pay $300 for that over $250 for the blend? The answer was no. But it was really cool to get to go there and kind of be part of the decision making process for that, to
Yeah.
taste all 8, and it was kind of fun because then it was like, of the 8, rank them.
Yeah. Yeah.
What was kind of fun then was I was the last one to go. They invited 3 or 4. But I was the last one, and my top 2 were the top 2 for everybody, which was kind of cool. That like we all kind of picked the same top 2, which
Oh,
one made
cool.
me feel really good that like my palate checked out with
Yes.
everyone else's.
Right.
But it was cool that I got to be part of that decision making process.
That's
Um,
cool. I've heard good things about that one.
yeah, I mean it was, but interestingly enough, a couple months ago they sent me a sample of a 9.5-year single barrel that they bottled for the distillery, and it had a different char level on it, and it was wildly different
Yeah.
than any of the other 8. And I would have taken the 9.5-year over any of the 10 years I had. Like if you would ask me, would you pay $300 for that 9.5-year? My answer might have been yes, versus the 10-year.
That's so let me just say something about Starlight because I'd love to get your thoughts where it's like I've got a single barrel from them that's a double oak bourbon that's incredible.
Mhm.
And then I've got another one that is just kind of not, this happens with every,
Yeah.
even your favorite distillery has it. But I wonder, and they have so much stuff. Like, I almost feel like if you get hit with a single barrel that's maybe not incredible, you
Mhm.
might move on. Like, do you see that with Starlight? Like, what is the Starlight? What's the issue with
Um,
Starlight? Because I feel like they're there, but then they're also maybe they've got so much stuff out that they're not getting the respect they deserve from some of their
so
top quality stuff.
Starlight tweaks a lot of things.
Okay.
When I was at the distillery, I purchased a 7-year bottle your own.
Yep.
And it's fantastic. They gave me the media discount, so I think I paid $35 for it. I mean, Jesus, it was fantastic. Well, then they also sent me a sample of the newest bottled and bond, and I kind of said, "Look, it's not for me." Like
Yeah.
I've had Starlight that I love. I've had Starlight bottled and bond that I love, but the newest one from some point in late 2025 wasn't for me. And I mean, I said as much. It wasn't
Yeah.
for me. So yeah, I've had Starlight that I really like,
Yeah.
and I've had some stuff that just it was a miss.
Yeah.
Um, the 10-year, like I liked the blend. I also chose not to buy it because I mean, I didn't like enough to, I didn't like it enough to drop 250. But then they send that 9.5-year single barrel, and I'm like, oh, like, like if this was what I was drinking,
Wow.
I mean, like to me, that 9.5-year, it was better than the 10-year,
Yeah.
like no doubt.
Yeah.
But Christian Huber, like that dude is wicked smart. Like to talk to him,
Yep.
there is nothing about that place he does not know. So also, I posted this weekend. They're getting ready to release a new series called the Terroir series, where they are picking non-traditional oaks from very specific regions of the world, such as Germany and Scandinavia, and they're going to age the bourbon in that.
Wow.
So, and there's going to be a whole series. I talked to Christian this morning, actually, and there's going to be a whole series where they're picking non traditional oaks, new oak from around the world.
That's awesome. Well, maybe this brings me to my last question, and I'll stop keeping you hostage here, Jake. And I really appreciate you again jumping on with this random little channel we have. But um, Starlight's got 10-year stuff, New Riff's got 10-year, Peerless has got the 10-year. Like we are getting into a place where I feel like as whiskey drinkers, we're in such an awesome place. Um, what do you agree with that? And then talk about a trend. Like, is there a trend you're seeing that's coming that you think will happen next year, this year,
Um,
or versus like last year? I know that's kind of a random, vague question, but I'd love to hear your thoughts.
I don't know. I feel like with, as you said, like we're about to hit a whole bunch of 10-year stuff.
Yeah.
Green River
Yep.
later this year will have 10-year. I mean, it's local. Like I'm ready.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm ready. I truly wonder now that we look up and all these other distilleries are about to have 9 and 10-year stuff. Are we going to maybe start shifting away from all the finished bonanza and just kind of like go back to like
Yeah.
and I find myself doing that. Like, I mean,
Okay.
finished stuff is fine, but
Yep.
like when I can find a really good, solid, just straight up whiskey, like I'm gravitating back toward that. I
Okay.
think consumers will do it. I also wonder if we're going to start seeing a real shift away from this obsession with single barrel, like single barrel picks. Um, for instance, this here. I mean, this is an individual. It's a kind of like a store pick. I mean, it's a blend, but
Right.
this is what Ryan Negley did, and it's fantastic. And to me, this is actually more interesting than any single barrel that Ryan Negley would have picked, because, like to me, this shows art. This shows skill and ability.
Mm.
Um, I don't know. I don't know. I feel like when we're starting to see more of that, we're showing off individuals who are blending.
Yeah.
Um, and I think that's art. Kind of a story I'll tell. At some point last year, Virginia Distillery, they started offering essentially a blend your own. It could be a blend your own for a single person like you, or it could be a blend your own as a store pick. And
Oh, nice.
they take three different single malts. Their standard single malt, and then I forget there was ex-bourbon single malt, and then two of their finishes. And they send you a little bottle of each and a blending kit. And you create your perfect blend. Then they create it.
Wow.
And like when I went into that, like in my mind, I knew exactly what I was going to do. Like I knew, this is what I'm going to want. That ended up being the absolute opposite of what I wanted. Like once I actually got to tasting it and actually experimenting, like what I thought I wanted, I was completely off. And it really gave me an appreciation for the art of blending, because like I put a lot of thought into that. Like okay, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. I got where I wanted. And it's also the realization, for those who maybe haven't done a single barrel selection, you go sit down. They're going to roll out 4 barrels. You're going to choose one of them. The reality is, those barrels that don't get picked, they get passed on to the next person, the next group. And your perfect single barrel may have been rejected 6 other times. And like,
Yep.
I mean, that's just the reality. Your perfect barrel might have been rejected 6 prior times until someone picks it. I don't know.
Yeah.
I would love to see more of this. Getting toward appreciation of blending different distilleries, maybe then versus just us all thinking our single barrel selection is the greatest thing ever. I would love to see that.
I love it. That's kind of a hot take, Jake. I love it.
I mean, I don't know. It's just, I don't know. It's the understanding that, we could walk into a warehouse of 1,000 barrels. You could pick 50 barrels. I pick 50 barrels. Our end product is going to be vastly different.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I'm intrigued by that, and I'd like to see more of that kind of thing.
No, I get it. And I think I saw that, this year. And Jake, I'm gonna send you. I'll send you some of the Raven batches from Jay, which like I just am a huge fan. Like that is something where it's like exactly what you're talking about. Someone that is an expert in that space is doing it right, and yeah. Anyway, that's a great take. And like I hope we see a lot more of that. We've got the older stuff coming. We got a lot of people in the game doing it. You also you find your person too, right? You find the person that your palate matches with that's blending right. Like Circle City's killing it. That's awesome.
Yeah, and and there are people that to trust.
Yeah.
I mean, Drew Black at Circle City, he is pulling from numerous distilleries, but I trust everything Drew does.
Yeah.
And there are, and there are things that get sent my way, and I'm like, why did you release that? Like that's not like we tasted the same thing. What made you think it was okay to release that? Whereas Drew is someone, if he's bottling it, I trust it.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. Well, Jake, thank you so much for coming on. So Coming Whiskey on Instagram, we got the Drinkhacker, and then again, remind me, it's shop.
So just go to cummingwhiskey.com.
Okay.
That's the easiest way. You go to cummingwhiskey.com. There's a link, like a clickable banner at the very top of the page.
That's awesome. Well, Jake, this has been so awesome. Thanks so much for coming on.
Thank you.
And I look forward to seeing all your work this year.
All right. Thank you.
All right. Cheers, man. Awesome. That was killer. Jake's the man. Just randomly jumped on from an Instagram message from Hack. So that's probably why he came on, not me. And now you're just stuck with me. I love it. I mean, it's so crazy how we get we're getting like some cool people on this stream, and and I think it's because like obviously Hack is just out there and talking to a ton of people. He's so good with that, and man, I miss him tonight. Cheers to Hack. You're my guy, and I really hope you're doing all right. And then yeah, like it's so cool that we have this, and also thank you. Yeah. I appreciate that the conversation. I hope I hope I got a lot of the stuff out of him that you were looking for. I didn't. Maybe I'll get to a couple of the upcoming releases that I'm interested in. And then we're gonna do. Oh gosh, I've got to put like names in a wheel. This is crazy. Yes, we can win an OWA. We can. Thanks, Bradley. I appreciate that. Um, yeah, Jake is the man. Jake was the man. He's like you really should go on Drinkhacker and look at his reviews. Like the guy is a super smart guy. Unlike me, where I pour something in a glass and I go, okay, and then I just write in a journal and I color little things like a child. The guy takes his time and knows the history. Um, what what are you Tim? What are you talking about? Yeah, we might need it. We might need another. We got a Jake air freshener. Cheers, back. I made a dang charcuterie board. Oh, Christian, that's awesome. We should all like. I should have made a charcuterie board for Hack tonight. We miss him. Um, but I didn't have time because I was scrambling before this just to make sure that this thing worked. How I'm handling Venmo. I don't know. Okay, so if you sent a Venmo tonight, it probably went to something that Hack knows a lot more about than me, and it will go to a future thing. Just so you know, we're not going to just take that and do nothing with it. But everything tonight is going to have to come through super chat, unfortunately, or I'm not going to be able to do it. Okay. Oh man, Jerry, the Navidad is excellent. You guys are too kind. If it were me, I would have kept that bottle. Well, Jerry, I will say, Hack. You could tell he thought he was having to give away his bottle. The Navidad is killer, and I have one in there that I've hidden because I will drink the whole thing. And so, man, well deserved. You're the man, Brad. Thank you. Also, I miss Brad. Brad was in my area, and I was away. I was doing a work trip, and now I'm back here. Steve Paul, y'all are too kind to me. I'm kind of worried that y'all are just being nice for some reason. It was really bad. Mac, you're holding the fort down. Y'all are the best. All right, stop being nice to me. Say something mean. How do I hide a bottle from myself? That's a great question. Um, I have a I have a case that I can lock, and I just don't go to it as much. All right. I need to put some names in to the wheel, and I'm also gonna do something that I've been wanting to do for a bit, which I know is gonna just everyone's gonna log off immediately. But it's gonna be the new Woodford barrel proof versus a Woodford pick. Heck, you did an average job. Oh, that's more like it, baby. Thank you, JG. Heck, Brad, just to be nice. I'm sure he did. He probably just sent a bunch of Venmos to y'all. You're not wearing quilts tonight, so we're being nice. I love it. I love it. Okay. Um, I does anyone have one of these wood? Okay, can we talk about the Woodford barrel proofs? I got so excited when I was like, "Oh my gosh, Woodford barrel proof for a double oaked!" I'm just so ready for this. Like, I can't wait. We got a full barrel proof, and then I have a pick. It's a Woodford barrel proof pick. But shockingly, every Woodford barrel proof pick I've seen is 96.64 proof. What? What are we doing here? Like, what? Are they lying? It makes me mad. Yes, and I know I should be putting names in. I don't know what I'm going to do. Just so you guys know. All right. I've got so much shit on this table. You're about to see. I hope everyone's tuning in for the breakdown that's about to happen. This is the breakdown where I kind of held the show for a bit. Actually, no, Jake held the show. Okay, do you hear the dinging? Okay. Hide the comment. Okay. I'm gonna talk. I'm gonna get into this Woodford. I've got a Woodford pick from Red Spirits. Shout out Bellevue, Tennessee, Nashville. That is basically kind of my home-ish town. That's where my mother lives. They're a great store, Red Spirits. This is a pick I got like a year ago. I don't even know. It may be oxidized. Mac, just drink heavily. It'll fall into line. Thank you, Dennis. What are y'all saying? What are y'all saying in the chat? Matt gonna give away all the good stuff tonight. Let's spin this thing. You're wearing a Still Austin shirt. Yeah, so here's the thing. Do you guys have this Woodford? They're 4 proof points more. You're right, Tyler. But as I'm reading this, a barrel proof, which we know. We know what barrel proof means. We know that no, we don't. It's all BS. It's marketing. All my whiskeys, yeah, that's true. You're all related. You're almost relatable, except for the hat. That's right. I have to say, I'm so excited. At the end of the week, I'm gonna go down to Middleburg. Gonna be awesome. Did you see the drop too? Jay's weekend drop. Man, that was quite the drop. If you're not on, Jay's stuff, take t8ke.com, sign up. You got some killer stuff. Woodford is the Basil Hayden line of Brown Foreman, almost too low proof. That's so true. Jay pays me to wear the hat. That is not true. That is not true, Alan. I worked hard. I poured whiskey for 2 hours for Jay. And he gave me this hat, and he gave me like 4 bottles. The dude is, such a nice guy, such a giving dude. Yeah, so I wish they had a high proof point in their barrel proofs. I think like that's the thing where I don't fully know what barrel proof means here. And I know that may sound dumb, but like we're not talking about like MGP low proof cast strength stuff, right? We're not talking about like full proof where this meets the entry proof to the barrel. We're not talking about that. And that's why I have a problem with this. Jake was awesome. You need that hat. It's coming out. He's releasing it. Take t8ke.com. And no, I am not paid. I just like all the stuff, and I spend my whole paycheck every month for Jay's stuff. Max hearing dinging in his head. Uh-oh. I don't know what that means. Sweet Cindy. Maybe I said something. Okay. So if I send him a list, I think I can do this. So I have 15 super chats. Gonna put that in there. Actually, maybe if someone Tyler, can you hear me? I'm gonna just say the names to you. And then let me know if I can just say that, because I'm going to review these. And if you can say that, if I can say it and then you can spin it, we're going to make sure it works. All right. Thank you, Tyler. So we got B Scott 108, Dennis C. Let me know if you're hearing this. Bradley Booper, Connoisseur Cigar. Also, thank you for being a member, Connoisseur. It's great to have you. let's go back up here. Prayers to Hack and his family. Yeah. We miss Hack, and that's what this community is about. Like, I've had my own stuff happen in my own life with a lot of you where you're the people I talk to a lot, and that's what this is about. So, I really appreciate y'all and thinking of Hack and his family. Cheers. Yep. To Dennis. Oh, thanks, Bradley. All right. So then as Tyler, if you're getting this, let me know. Steve Paul pouring some makers in honor of Jake's dad. Yeah. Cheers. That was such a cool thing, right? From Jake. Like, I think we all have the ways we've been involved in whiskey where like I know in my like college years I had my old number 7 stuff, and then there is at the same time something meaningful too, right? That happens, and that where whiskey becomes kind of a more serious thing, like more meaningful thing that's connected to family or community, and that's so cool to hear about Jake's story. Tank 1818, put him on the wheel. Hello, everyone. Cheers, Mac. Hope Hack is okay. Yeah, cheers, Frank. Put him on the wheel. Tyler, Frank. Joe Brony. Oh yeah, the bagels. That was a really cool conversation there, and it was really cool that Jake was talking about that. So Frank's in multiple times. Also, if I mess this up, let me know. You guys, thank you so much for your super chat. Yeah, we can. Alan's in there. Navi Don from Bama. Jerry. Brad, thank you. Put him in the wheel. JG did an average job. Put him in the wheel. Frank again. And then, yeah, let me know too. This may not work the right way if I got to put them in multiple times. Dennis, one more super chat for Hack. Yeah, thanks, Dennis. Jeremy. All right, super chats. I think all the super chats are in. Let me know if I didn't show your chat. Tyler, let me know if this made sense at all. All right, so here we go. Max basket weaving degree was inspiration into quilting. It's basically true, man. I wasn't far off. So, Tyler, did you get all those names? Let me know if you did. If you didn't, let me know. I'm tasting right now a pick. This is from Red Spirits. This is a 90.4 proof pick, which is their pick strength here. This one is really like vanilla forward. It's that vanilla forward Woodford. It's a solid go-to low proof, Woodford pick here. But hey, guess what? Now we have an opportunity. I got you, Tyler. Did you know how many entry B Scott's gets? Now we have an opportunity to have barrel proof. We are at 96.6. Watch out. Tim, come on now. This smells like straight up. B Scott. I will look at it right now. Okay. So B Scott. How many entries do we have here? We're going to make sure that B Scott has one entry, but wait a second. It's $20. So I think $5 is the key here. So I'm going to go through again. Thank you guys for being patient. Hack does this whole thing. I'm just like hitchhiking through this. So now you're having to see me like actually do things. Thank you for the community for helping. B Scott has $20. So that's 4 entries. Dennis 5. Bradley has 10, so he has 2 entries. Connoisseur has 5. Steve Paul has 10, that's 2 entries. Tank has 10. That's 2 entries. Frank has actually 2 10s, which is 20, which is 4 entries. Joe Brony has 5. It's 1 entry. Uh-oh. Alan's got 20, which is 4 entries. Bama has 10, which is 2 entries. If I'm doing this wrong, let me know. I don't know. Brad has $5, 1 entry. JG with a $5. Frank with another $5. Dennis, $5. Jeremy, $5. Did I do this right? Oh, man. Oh, man. And then we got 4 more. I'm just Alan, that's too kind. At this point, I'm just gonna send you one. Tyler, let me know, man, what's going on. Okay, so I didn't know math was Sweet Cindy, this is where you're getting. I feel like the funniest part is we have like the most viewers right now where I'm just like fumbling through this and trying to do math. Oh my gosh. Dennis has 2 entries total. The Wheel of Confusion. Wes adds 10. All right, I'm gonna have to cut this off here in a second. So I'm gonna get back to the Woodford piece here. This barrel proof, which is actually a pick from Nashville as well. So we got red and got this at red. We are talking 90.4 to 96.64. What's going on? Someone in the chat define barrel proof for me. Do it. Do it. Because I don't know what the hell that means. All right. I'm about to spin. Good God, I have no room to do anything. I don't know how Hack does this. How does Hack do this? I don't appreciate Hack enough. Hack, I love you. What would I do without you, man? This is what would happen. It would just be a complete shit show every night. Connoisseur, I've added you to our wheel of names for our members. Thank you so much, man. I really appreciate you joining. Anyway, okay, so before I do this here, we got about like 10 more minutes left. I appreciate everyone joining and watching this. I'm just like crashing right now. How is everyone's like, Valentine's Day? What'd y'all do? Drink whiskey? Does your partner like whiskey? Let me know. I'm lucky to have one that does. Look at everyone loaded in here. Wait. Okay. Okay, are people adding more? Okay, I'm coming back up here. Y'all are just screwing with me now. Y'all want to see me flounder. It's very entertaining. Thank you, God. Thank you so much. Guys and girls, we have ladies here. Bottled at the same proof it came out of the barrel. So, Christian, I could be right. Barrel proof, cast strength. Is bottled the exact proof it reached after aging with no water added, result varying, usually higher proofs. I just don't believe it for this. I think maybe that's the thing. I just don't believe it. And I know these definitions, guys. Like, I always thought barrel proof was high proof. I think, the thing is like full proof versus barrel proof is like what I was wondering. Tyler, Joe Brony, $5. Give me him before cutoff. Barrel proof should be what it comes out of the barrel. The question is, are they watering it down before the second barrel? And is that the proof they're using? And I think that's the thing, Tim. I think you nailed it, man. So like Woodford Double Oak was one of my like first loves of like when I started to actually get into whiskey, and I wasn't just drinking Old Number 7, which by the way, do not say anything bad about Old Number 7. You're gonna have a problem with this Tennessee boy. Um, Valentine's Day plans. Went to my Scotch club event. That's so badass. That's so badass, Anthony. I struck out at Heaven Hill on V Day. Sorry, Tim. My significant other is jealous of my whiskey. Oh, I don't know what to say to I don't know what to say to that. Watch my kids wrestle. Too tired to go out on V Day. I get it. V Day, I get it. 2 dates and she's already your partner, Mac. Oh, I'm trying, JG. She's a catch. Yeah, exactly. Foolproof, not yet. Yeah, so they added water between the first and second aging. Yeah, so the double oaked piece of this with the barrel proof is sneaky. They're sneaky. Proof out the second barrel, water down between barrels. That could be the thing, man. Got him. Thank you. Foolproof means bottle at the proof it was before. Yeah, exactly. So I think that's what I'm trying to say, where it's like we've got all these different things that don't really have they do not have legal definitions. Pour up that rare breed. Loves it. Oh man. Brad knows what I got. Foolproof means adjusted. Yeah, so this isn't foolproof. This is barrel proof, which is a BS term, I think. Me too. Woodford Double Oak was my banger. Yeah, Jerry, right? Randall, barrel proof or cast strength. So is bottled directly from the barrel without water dilution. So I hear that, but I think we are at the problem is the double barreling here, right? If they had water in the barrel, such as slow water reduction, control and lower proof. Yeah, so I think here, um, we are at a place with these, and this was like $90. 90. And I'm sorry. It's not great. It's got like marshmallow. It got a little like charred marshmallow, but it's so watery. Like when I love like again, Woodford Double Oak. That was early on, an early love. I'll still pour it from time to time. The problem I have with the picks, which are still good, this red spirits is good. The regular Shelfer Double Oaked, even the double, which $200 is a problem. And by the way, that's coming out again. They're having another batch of that this year. Watery. We don't have that mouthfeel. We don't have that viscous mouthfeel that I would love to have a true double. I saw this past year what Woodford could do some great stuff, but it's the chocolate whisper redux. And like they did not make much of that. And I'm very lucky to have one. Thank you, Eric. There's my guy here. All right, who we got? Yeah, double oaks in my banger. Randall. Yep. I just did this one. Sorry, guys. If they add water to the barrel, so yeah. Double the price. Yeah. I'm confused by Green River's weeded foolproof, where each batch is a different proof. Yeah. So I think they have maybe did Jake say this? I think they have a couple batches, maybe 3 batches, and then there's different foolproofs, like batches. I don't know. All right. Whiskey cannot be truly barrel proof if water's added in a double oaking. Well, then, Marty, tell me. Cheers, by the way. What happened with these? Man, we just got into a whole thing here. Okay. I'm going to roll. Let me know. I'm going to try to. Oh, man. I got to share a screen. Woo. I'm going to share a screen. Can you guys see this? Oh, God. No, you can't. Now you can. Okay. Yeah. I'm doing it. All right. So, Tyler, I think your wheel is ready. Tyler, do you need to send me the link so I can show it? Or are you guys going to trust Tyler? Tyler's a very trustworthy person. How many shuffles should I do? This is for the Knob Creek Cast Strength for our YouTube members. Thank you so much for being a YouTube member. We don't do a Patreon. So this is the way that we're able to buy these things. So we do not pocket this money. We just do it in giveaways. How many shuffles? Wes, 8 mixes. I'm doing it. Can you see it? Boom. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Here we go. Click the spin. I almost didn't know how to spin it. I miss you, Hack. Here we go. No way, Wes. That is fixed, my friend. That is fixed. 8 spins. You called it. I love it. So that is for the Knob Creek Cast Strength. I guess I shouldn't say it's fixed if I'm like the one doing it. But no, it wasn't. I just did it. 8 mixes, 1 fixes. No, that Tim, that's the most updated the one here. Hack actually sent it to me before, but let me know if you have an issue with y'all. Congrats, Wes. We love you, man. Congrats on that Knob Creek. All right, so yeah, that was the members one. That was the members one. Yeah. So anyway, just to finalize this, and then Tyler, I don't know what you said here. Sent the link in the Discord. You the man. You are the man. Which I cannot wait to see you next weekend. So really quick here, we're going to talk a little bit about what's coming up, and we're going to do our final spin here. And thank you so much for just like hanging out with me. And by the way, do not spend extra. Do not double your price on a Woodford barrel strength. Just get Woodford double oak or a pick. Like, I'm actually kind of mad at that. Like, I'm kind of mad at that. Congrats, Wes. I'm going to send us out with this Exodus 5, which I should have a video coming out this week of some of the things that like I'm loving to pour right now. And I hope everyone actually saw the video I did of Jason's drum key from Jason from Mash and Drum, which if you're following us, you know, like the dude is like one of the largest tubers. I did a in-depth video of this, and it's good stuff. I like it. It's Green River stuff. That's awesome. This is Spirit Walker 5, and I did a whole video on like sherry finish ryes. Like what I'm pulling, I've been pulling a lot of those sherry finish ryes, maybe because it's so cold and DC and everything, but it's just like I'm loving this. But look at this. Also, shout out Chattanooga Whiskey. I love you. One of the largest whiskey tubers. Jason from Mash and Drum, yeah. Oh, come on. Marty? All right, we're gonna do a spin here. Why am I still anyway, thank you guys for still watching this. I'm gonna share screen. Uh-oh. Can you all see this? No, you can't. Here you go. This is for the Old Weller Antique. Thank you so much for watching this. Um, and then, like sending money in. Like it's just so nice. Also thank you to Jake. Coming Whiskey, followed Coming Whiskey. Like that was such a cool interview. So here we go. This is for the Old Weller Antique. How many spins? And not Wes. Not Wes. We're not doing Wes. Someone else. Give me how many spins? 7? All right, Bradley. I got you. I don't know if I can do it. Can you do it? Tyler, do you do it? God, I'm looking like such an idiot here. Can you shuffle 7 times, Tyler? Can you do it? Congrats, sweet Cindy. Congrats, Bradley. Oh my God. No, I literally. Okay, you know what? I can't do it. I'm gonna click the spin, and it's gonna be real. And I'm not. Oh God. Here goes. I'm sorry, I couldn't shuffle it. Frank? No, JG. Frank, congrats, Frank. Congrats, Frank. You got a 107 coming to you, sir. All right. Sorry I couldn't spin that. But thanks so much for joining. And now, for all of you who are here still, thank you. Like Frankie the man, great to see you. Thank you for joining. You got a 107 coming your way. Can you actually email hackandmacshow@gmail.com your address? Because I don't know if we have that. And I think Hack may say that, but he's not here. That'd be great. And I'm sipping on this Spirit Walker 5. And I have one more pour after this, if you know, one more pour. And I think we are actually working on a stream uh for members only. But I don't know anything about that. So we're working on that. But thank you all for joining. Is there anything else that y'all are sipping on right now? Any trends that you're seeing? I actually really like that thought from Jake where he was like single barrels no more. We trust blenders. And I mean that was like kind of I think I agree, but I also want to push back because I really love the idea of the single barrel. I think that will always be around, but I think maybe single barrels kind of hit that top of the curve, right? And they're coming back down. They're going to even out, and you're going to trust those that pick those barrels. And you're going to stick with them, and you're probably going to drop a lot of the ones you don't trust. But I think the blending piece here is huge, and I think he has a really good point. Oh yeah, actually, Anthony, my end of the year blender blind made me take note of how good blends are these days. Um, Anthony, do you drop that on a website or is that in the 2 to 90 chat? Because Would love to see that. And if you're not a part of 21090, you need to be. They've got some killer picks coming. And Anthony's stuff is just so good. Yeah, so what do you think of that? And I'm gonna pour my last pour here, shouting out 210, which I did a couple 210 picks with with Jay at the Reveries, and it was awesome. I know they've got some coming up. But yeah, Anthony, that's a really good point. Yeah, 21090 Patreon reviews. Y'all join 21090. They're so awesome. Matt Thomas. At both extremes, they can be good or bad depending on who's doing it. Yeah. I think we're in a new place there where I don't know if we're in a new place, but I think we're in a place where more people are blending. Like this guy. Jason. I have a whole video on this coming out this week, so make sure you watch that. And I really like it. I think he did a good job with this. Thank you, Frank. What do you know? Shout out 210. Shout out 210. Because that was going to be one of the last pours that I had tonight. But yeah, I hope everyone really liked tonight's conversation. You know, Jake from Coming Whiskey, and I'm going to do two things. I'm going to talk about the final releases that I'm waiting for this year, and I'm going to pour one more pour, and then I'm going to let everyone go because I should not still be on this stream. And then, miss Hack. And for those who just joined, Hack's mother had a fall and she's in the hospital. She's doing okay, but she broke some ribs, and so, that's it's not good. But as far as everything could be, it's yeah, she's doing all right and is responsive, but there's a lot of tests going and there's a lot going ahead. So our thoughts and prayers are with Hack right now. Yeah, so I am finishing up this sip here. And I am getting to my last pour of the night, Corbin Cash. Also, I think David Souza has a February birthday. Good people have February birthdays. Let me just say that. Wait. Are people just joining this? What are y'all doing? It's almost 11 p.m. Eastern. Wait, Dave? Okay. So we have Dave Vogel saying Mike Zilla, 21090, Central Time for the win. I just talked a little bit about how you should not buy a Woodford barrel proof pick. It's Mac After Dark. 90s Young. Don't tempt me. Is it two more pours? Is it two more pours? This is going to be my last one. Actually, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to cause some ruckus. I'm going to do two more pours. And these are the real fans who are still here after we already did our giveaways. The OGs know. The real ones know that this is killer. God, I've got so many things on my desk. Hack, I miss you, man. I hope I don't ruin this channel tonight. I do not work for the government. I think it was supposed to be 3 more. Stop it. Oh, no. No. 106 proof. Calumet 16. I got this a year ago. And this thing kills in blinds. See, this is the problem. JG is it's not happening. God. So Calumet 16. I've got the Calumet 18. Don't make me go grab Calumet 18. But the nose on this Calumet 16, and I think I got this on Seal Box after I bought something. They're like, hey, we'll take $25 off. And I think I paid $160 for this. This is a 16-year Kentucky bourbon. Also, I love that. You look at the Glen take, which, by the way, these are going to be sold. And no, I'm not paid by Jay, so everyone chill out. I'm just a fan. But they're coming. Merch is coming, y'all. Man, this is so good. Calumet 16 is good, and anyone who tells you not is wrong. I'll put my reputation on that. I think they may be batched, so everyone chill out. Okay. Wait, what's going on? Everyone's chatting here. Okay. Just poured a copper and cask. Benny's. Man, Benny's. Tell me about Benny's. Benny seems to have the real stuff. Actually, I am paid by this J. That's true. I'm paid by that JG. Except I don't think we're paid. I think we buy way too many bottles, and then some of what we spend, we just give to y'all. Which is thank you. Thank y'all. We do want to make sure that everything you guys spend, we give away. And so I think we had some good bottles today. That Knobku cast strength that went out is going to be a killer. And then, Weller Antique is killer. All right. Last pour of the night, y'all. Thank you so much. I've got a big couple weeks coming. I think next week is going to be up in the air if we're going to be on. Hack and Mama Hack are coming here to DC. So Hack will be here for work, I think. Again, thoughts and prayers to his family and to his mother, who's in the hospital. So I don't know if that's changing, if he will be here, but he was planning to be here this week. He'll be here at the end of the week. And then next week, we are going to Louisville. And that's my birthday weekend, which is so cool. Like, a few y'all are joining. Like, thank you so much. So, my last pour of the night, Corbin Cash. This is the 21090 pick. This is 142 proof Merced Rye whiskey, which is just incredible. I love this pour, and thank you, 210. Thank you, Andy and Todd. I know Anthony, you're on that pick, and like, it's just killer. And then if you are not a part of 21090, which I will put right here, join them. You likely all are, and if you're not, you need to. They have some killer picks coming. So Matt gets a birthday week. I'll take it. So so first of all, look at this. That is beautiful, like dark brick color. The nose has anise. It has like vanilla, like brulee, like creme brulee. It's all the things I love in rye that I've been really getting into. There's something else there. There's a citrus component. There's like a lemon zest nose. Oh, this is a special pour, and I wish I got more of these because there's not a lot out in the market like this. So on the front palate, it is blood orange, like lemon zest. That creme brulee, like vanilla palate, like mid palate, just gets there. It's just like a expensive vanilla bean, right? Like mm, caramel sauce. There's some licorice in there too. But if you're not a big like licorice or like anise fan, it's not too much. It is really well balanced with the sweetness. Oh man. I'm just such a fan, and like 21090 is doing picks like no one else is. So shout out Andy and Todd. Y'all are killing it. I'm gonna go for a second sip here as just people just log off. Yeah, and nothing really changes too much there, but that spice component I've talked about some of my favorite like rye notes or like a carrot cake, where you have that like vanilla frosting with that like allspice, cinnamon. There's some licorice there, and man, it's just so great. Um, mm, just incredible. So anyway, thank you all. Let's also put a Glen up for Hack and his family. We love Hack, and the whole point of what we do here, in which actually Jake tonight with Coming Whiskey talked about like what he loved about whiskey was, um, after his father passed, that Maker's Mark bottle that connected him to that was really powerful. And I think when you get to this level where you're watching, videos and you're part of communities, that's what we're here for. And I have not seen a more supportive community than anything else in my life than the whiskey community, which is so cool. And so our prayers are with Hack and his mother and his family, and we wish a speedy recovery. And so, cheers, all. Much love to you. Thank you so much for dealing with me. We don't have the star on Hack, but cheers. We'll talk to you soon. Much love.